All right, who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome to episode 21 of the Dirt Life Show. I'm Georgie Hamill. What's going on, Case?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, doing pretty good, man. Went on a bicycle ride today. That was pretty sweet.
Nice.
How about you?
Doing all right. Rode the trainer a little bit.
Oh, you got a little bit of pedals in?
I did. But did you say episode 21?
21.
Nice.
What?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, there's no significance. Just 21.
Who's 21? Anderson.
Okay.
Anderson got podium this weekend, so that's pretty
all
good.
All right. There you go.
We're going to have our little St. Louis review today. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate all of the support, as always. Since last episode, we've gotten actually quite a few people who have slid into our DMs, message us, text message me personally, even called me, said how good they think the show has been going. And I'm just getting excited. I think it's really cool to see all the growth, man. We have some cool, fun plans, maybe even do Instagram Live one of these days. We're going to try it today, but didn't end up working out. So I want to see how I get the audio into the Instagram feed. But, so I'm stoked. I think the show is doing really great, and mainly it's because of all of our viewers and our audience. And I want to thank everyone for joining us and for being such a huge integral part of making the show a success. It's nothing without you guys. So we still have a lot to go. We have a lot to learn. We have a lot to grow. And I think over the next year, we'll probably, make some big improvements. We'll do some remote shows and just have a good time. So if you guys are new to the show, you can always go to thedirtlifeshow.com and check it out. The show the website got some upgrades, so you can click on a couple buttons there. There's a big red button at the top that says live shows, and you can just click on the Facebook link or the YouTube link and go check out the live shows. And those are every Monday night, unless we do like a remote show. We'll probably do it on Friday nights because it's a little easier for people to come hang out and party with us and have beers and stuff. They don't really like doing that on Mondays. Like doing it on Fridays.
Not
better.
on Monday.
Yeah. So, it'll be cool to have those remote shows too. If you're just joining us on iTunes, you can always watch the shows on YouTube and Facebook. You can get in touch with us on Instagram. You can get in touch with us on, like I said, Facebook. We're on all of the podcast networks: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, all those. And like I said, you can just go to the website, dirtlifeshow.com, and it'll guide you all right there. We also have a few T-shirts left, too. We need to make some more hats, though. Everybody's been asking for hats. So,
are they going to be shaped like a taco?
They should. I got a taco outfit, and they got pictures of me doing a beer bong in a taco outfit at the dunes. So that's actually a pretty funny picture. What color hat do you think we should make?
Well, I'm pretty partial to orange.
Yeah, going with the orange theme.
Yeah.
Like with your shoes, too?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know, black and white is so, like, classic.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool.
It does look good.
Super bold. Orange would be kind of cool, though. Maybe we'll just make some different colors.
That'd be cool.
I'm into the unicorn theme, so maybe have some of that.
There you go. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, that would be actually a cool hat to do.
It would.
We'd have to find somebody that's really good at printing hats, though, to do lightning bolts.
Definitely.
So today we have... Well, let's thank our sponsors real quick, and then we'll introduce the show. Thank you very much to Shock Therapy. Those guys are doing an awesome job. In the next few weeks here, maybe in February, we'll have Cody come on and talk about his new Shock Therapy YXZ and how awesome it is. He's been posting some stuff on social media, and it looks like that car's handling a lot better.
I'll bet.
It's
nice.
cool. They put another sway bar on it and all kinds of fun stuff.
Awesome.
So it'll be neat to see what he says about that. You can always use the code DIRTLIFE to go on the Shock Therapy website and get a big old fat discount. They sell all kinds of hard parts, accessories, and you can always call them up and schedule an appointment to go get your shocks done. They have rad improvement systems, and they can help your car immensely. So Casey and I talk about it all the time, like how much, when we race professional dirt bikes, how much suspension was a huge help for us. So it's pretty cool. And even Ken Roxon complained about his suspension, and look, he won after he fixed it. So
I have to imagine with the car, it's probably even more because there's no body English with the car.
Yeah, you can't fix it yourself.
Yeah,
you just have to deal with it. I mean, there is a little bit. Like I noticed that when I would drive, it's not like scrubbing a dirt bike, but you can move the wheel and stuff. Like with RC car racing, that you can move the wheel and move the car around, and it's similar to that, but it's way bigger, so it's a lot less of input.
Right. But more for if you're not a racer, you're still going to benefit.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you don't have to be the biggest wheel on the earth.
Exactly.
If that thing's set up right, it's just going to be more enjoyable for everybody.
Exactly. And a lot of the cars come pretty good these days, like the side-by-sides, but they still can all use improvement, especially for the person's driving style. You know, grandma and grandpa might go really slow, and 16-year-old kid might just mash the throttle everywhere. So
Right.
And thank you to Zollinger Racing Products. Those guys make amazing stuff. We're going to showcase some stuff next week. We will even have a giveaway. So we'll post some stuff on social media and get you guys involved. Maybe even win some free stuff from Zollinger. They have some really badass products. If you want to go buy some stuff for your UTV, you can go to ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE and get a big old fat discount. We also want to thank the guys at Rigid Industries, make the best light bars and light products on the market. And thank you to the guys at Solderweld. We have some cool, fun stuff planned later this year with the guys at Solderweld. They are always a bitching company to be partnered with, and we love them. They have an off-road repair kit that will save your ride or race, so you can basically take and weld any type of metal on the go. So all you need is a butane torch and a repair kit, and you're good to go. So thank you to all those guys. They're the ones that help make this show happen as well. So we're really, really thankful that we have partners like that. So I want to talk a little bit about St. Louis this weekend. I'm wearing my racing shirt because Ken Roxon did pretty freaking good, man. He made me super proud to see not just the win, but all the stuff went behind it. So before we get into all of that, who did you want to win?
Man, I'm really pulling for AC this year. I mean, he's
getting it too.
He's getting it. Like, we've all said it for so long. Oh, wait till so-and-so gets on the big bike. Wait until so-and-so gets on the big bike.
Yeah.
But, like, this finally could be the rookie that could do what McGrath did.
Yeah, or like when Stewart was creeping up or Carmichael was creeping up into the ranks.
Yep. I mean, the difference is the field is so deep now. I mean, it is just insane. It makes for it's probably the best season in a long time. And I think we always say that, though. Oh, this season's going to be the best. This season's going to be the best. But and then think about Barsha. I mean, nobody was even talking about Barsha. And
well, that's like last year. Nobody talked about Webb either.
This is true. That's what's so awesome about it is that guys.
That underdog story is always bitching.
These guys are earning their money and their ride next year. So
it's cool.
I'm a fan of just Supercross in general. So
just the sport, yeah.
A good race is a good race, but I definitely want to see. I want to see AC just get her done.
Actually, now that you mention it, like the last couple of years, I haven't really been in. Like I was like, I'm gonna watch Supercross on Sunday.
Right.
Yesterday or on Saturday, I was like, dude, like I gotta get food. I'm gonna have people, whatever.
I was watching practice the whole 9 yards.
I didn't get that far into it, but that's awesome. Maybe I should. How do you watch practice?
You gotta unfortunately do the.
I have
whatever
that.
Do you? You have that? That's what you do, and then it's good.
You just show up early?
Yeah, you just show up early.
Maybe I'll have to not be doing me and my dad did a whole bunch of work this weekend. So I think AC9 could definitely bring some heat this year. Since we're going to be talking to Josh Shorter, our featured guest tonight. He's the Thor Motocross brand manager, and Thor makes motocross gear. And so he's probably a little bit partial to Webb.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. And he's pretty tuned in, so I can't wait to hear some of
see what kind of moto stuff he has.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's got some of the tidbits that we don't see on the surface. So that'll be cool to hear some of that stuff. But for the record, I'm for sure a Kenny fan. I've always thought that the guy was just a hard worker and a good racer, a good personality for the sport too. And getting hurt and going through what he's gone through, I'm definitely pumped to see him pull that off,
dude. 100%. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to talk to Josh tonight and see what he has to say. Before we continue on the stuff we're talking about with St. Louis, I met him a long time ago. We actually met out in Ocotillo Wells, like when we went riding. Ocotillo Wells is this big recreation area, kind of by Yuma and like by El Centro. I don't know if you know where that is. And we met out there, and he's just a good dude, man. He's always been into motocross, and we can talk to him about what he thinks about St. Louis too. He's the brand manager for Thor now. Like I said, I think he's going to be a Webb fan during this show, but he's just been a good all-around action sports guy, man. He loves surfing. He he motos as much as he can. He does bicycle. Have you ever heard of that race called Supercross, where they do half surfing and then half motocross?
No, that sounds cool.
It's super cool. Pingree does it too.
Nice.
But it's the guys. So they'll get like I don't know how many guys are in it. He can tell us. But there's like 10 surfer guys and 10 motocross guys, right? And the surf guys obviously kill it in the surf stuff,
right?
And the motocross guys have to surf. So
yeah, right.
That's cool. And then they do like the best overall results at the end of both days. So a surfing day and a motocross day.
Nice.
And at the end, whoever has the best results. So like, we should ask Shorter what place he's gotten and see what.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think Sonny Garcia is like the best overall dude because he can ride moto and surf. Yeah,
like Sipes' brother.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So for those that are listening and didn't catch last week's show, we talked to Ryan Sipes, and his brother Justin Sipes is Ryan said he's pretty much good at everything.
Everything.
No matter what it is, fishing, every single thing, right? So yeah, we'll talk to Josh a little bit tonight and see what he has to say about St. Louis and kind of some of the stuff that he's been through in his action sports career. He's just such a good dude, man. So I'm glad to call him a friend, and I can't wait to talk to him tonight.
Awesome.
I really, honestly, the main thing that I took away from St. Louis was seeing Ken Roczen win was like a game changer in my mind for obviously him, but for the sport, for people that were watching, and the realness that it drew to something that we don't have that much realness. You know, you
Right.
watch basketball and you watch Supercross and you watch all these professional sports, Olympics, everything. You can relate to the people that are doing it because you know they put in hard work.
Right.
You know that they're winners.
Right.
You know, everybody likes a winner, right? But this was like a whole different level to me personally because I've been through some stuff, and we can talk about this stuff that you've been through and everything. But to see all of the things that Ken Roczen has gone through in his, let's just say last 3 years, but his whole life,
Right.
and to overcome all of those things and make a significant impact like he did by winning a race when the doctors told him that they might have to cut off his arms
Right.
because they were so broken.
Right. And I think it even starts prior to that where he's like, this isn't working. I'm leaving my trainer. I'm doing my thing. I mean, remember all that? I think that was the year.
So
he got
4 or
hurt.
5 years ago,
Or yeah, maybe it was. It was definitely earlier than that. But a lot of people were like, "Oh man, you're leaving.
making the wrong decision or something."
What are you doing?" So what I'm getting at is that I'm sure there was some deep, dark moments for him, probably quite a bit of them, where you start to think back to every decision you made and was it right or not.
Yeah.
So more to your point, all that stuff carries so much weight to when finally you get to the point that you've been working towards.
Yep.
And his family, all those people that have been, instrumental in this. I mean, you could see the emotion.
That emotion was what drove me freaking
It
crazy.
was
I think
awesome.
It came through the TV screen to me personally, obviously, but I think to a lot of people.
Oh, I think you're not the only one. Obviously, you have some different feelings than the random person watching, but everybody got it.
Yeah, the whole underdog story is just always cool to hear. And so anybody that doesn't know who Ken Roczen is a German-born Supercross racer that's lived in the United States for a long time. He's almost the epitome of the American boy now.
Yeah.
But he broke his arm so badly and went through some very, very tough times these past couple years. And he, with a lot of doctor and rehab and therapy and all this stuff, he was able to get his arms fixed decent. They're not what a normal person is, but he was able to get back riding in a good level and contend for race wins and things like that. But he's had a hard time, and finally, after 2.5 years or something, 3 years, he got one this past weekend in St. Louis.
Yep.
That's just crazy to me. And you and I were talking about it a little bit before the show, and let's backtrack a little bit to preface why this was so important. This was important because you can go out and win a championship, right? You can have a great race and you can be a championship contender, and it's important. Like, it really makes a big difference. You make your $1 million for the championship and you're a badass dude.
Which he's done, obviously.
Yeah, and he, I don't know if he's won a Supercross championship yet, but he's won the outdoor championship, and
I think he won 1 year. Anyways.
Yeah, so he's been a European champion. He's been an American champion. And he's won all these accolades, right?
Right.
But there's only a few times in anybody's life, your life, my life, anybody's life on the planet, all of our audience's life, that you get to make a significant impact like what he did on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
That race, that one Saturday night, will be more remembered than all of his other championships.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Because of the adversity that he faced, because of the things that he went through, and because of the people around him that saw that he pushed through all of that stuff and became a champion or a winner again.
Right.
And to me, it related very, very heavily. And you and I talked about it a little bit before the show. It relates to you as well. You've been through some hardships in your life. You had to have, brain surgery, and you, when I first got into RC racing, you were pretty heavy into it, and you had made it very far. You had made it to a professional level, and you were battling against the best dudes. And it doesn't matter whether it's RC cars or Formula One cars. To make it to that level in anything you do, volleyball, surfing, skating, whatever it is, It takes a lot of work.
Right.
And you were shown that, hey, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again.
Right.
They cut open my head, and I don't know if things are going to work the same.
Yeah, right.
So what were the things that you thought of, like, during that process?
Yeah, similar things. Obviously the things that aren't family and all those tight things, you kind of put them off to the side for a second until you know that, okay, I'm going to be okay, right? And then it's, I hope I can get to a level again. Am I going to be able to work again? Am I going to be able to, so
you really take your life down to the bare necessities?
Yeah. I think you almost have to, because, and I'll bet at some point he did too, because he was probably like, I might have to lose my arm. Forget about bikes now for now. Now he's like, can I take a shower? Can I drive my car?
Yep.
So I think everybody goes through that process.
You really do have to do that, and you really start respecting life and understanding it. And again, these are the reasons why I think it was so important and emotional for everybody around him,
right?
Because those people lived that through with him.
Yeah, totally. And I think what's also very important to getting back where you need to be or where you are is that you have to finally make that choice of, okay, I am going to be okay, and now I'm going to do everything I can to try to get back as best I can. And it might have to be different. It might have to look different, but I'm going to try to get there.
Fucking A, he did it, man.
He did it. It was
when
it
you
was
were
insane.
when you had we'll just go through yours real quick. And
Sure.
so when you had your brain surgery and you were coming back and you were like, shit, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this RC car stuff. You had obviously went through the family stuff and you kind of passed it. But since we're putting it in a racing context with Ken, what did you think? Were you like, great, now I'm not going to be good anymore? Like, what was your thought process?
Yeah, because you think, especially messing with the computer, the way I like to put it.
Yeah.
You never know.
When you mean with your brain, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you wake up, you're kind of messed up, or I was, and you know how it is with surgery. And the first thing I did is I wanted my phone to tell my friends, and I was like out of it. I didn't know. I got told this later, and I was texting friends, and I texted Rhonda Drake, and she texted me back, and it was like, oh, thanks, sweetheart, and what was that about? Well, everybody knows you're not in your right mind when you're coming out of the drugs.
But they're concerned about you.
They are concerned about you. But what I was getting back to is that it was like, okay, you're kind of back to autopilot, which was the first thing was, I know a lot of people are worrying about me, so I want to tell them I'm okay.
Right.
Oh, hey, I was able to do that. Like these little steps.
Yeah.
And then it's these little stupid.
Oh, I brushed my teeth today.
Right. And then because we're like this with everything we do, anybody that's competitive tries to go, how can I do this that'll help me do that?
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, all right, I'm going to play these little brain games. And I'm going to play these little things with my other hand. I'm going to do things with my left hand. Just lots of different little things that, like, I don't know that they helped or not. But in my mind, it was more reassuring that I
can promise that they helped.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah. And that's what I think, too, is like I couldn't even write down words. And then I was like, oh, shit. The next day out, And then all of a sudden it gets better. And you're like, well, either something's getting fixed by itself, like my body's doing it, or I'm doing it with my body. Like, so, yeah.
It's helping for sure.
And then what was it like when you got back on track? So you actually went to the races or you went to practice?
After 9 days, which was pretty quick, I was like, man, I kind of want to go with my buddies to the local track.
Because they were all going?
Yeah, and just get back to the normal thing. And Courtney told me, well, if you do that, you're good enough to not be babied anymore, basically. Which
you can make your own dinner now, honey.
Which was funny. So yeah, I decided to, and that was 9 days after, and I was like, wow, I can still do this. This is fun, you know.
Yeah.
And then probably
was it a realization that you would have to learn some things again?
Not so much, actually. It was like, hey, all the little things that are going on are, yeah, there's a little bit of stuff there, like, okay, you know, this thought process is a little different or whatever, but hey, my motor skills still seem to be okay. So, but then a month later was the Nitrocross, 2009, the Nitrocross World Championships, and it was in Phoenix. And
that's a huge RC race.
It was pretty awesome. They're not really doing it anymore, but it was a big deal opposite of the IFMAR World Championship. So there was always something going on that was, you know, a world-class event, and all those big guys are there. And I was not in a class against all of those guys, but I TQ'd and won that race.
Wow.
And, like, it was such a huge thing for, in my mind, nothing like Kenny's. I mean, it's way different, obviously, but it was
he's on a totally different level than us, but yeah.
But it was that victory of, man, not that long ago I was in the spot of, I'm not really sure what life's going to be like.
Well, let me ask you this question then. Yeah, because so you have a precedence in your mind that you don't know. You're going into the unknown, so to speak, and you come back and you win this race, or you TQ this race and you get a decent place finish, or even if you didn't, and you come back and after that, are you like thinking to yourself like, oh, well, I did good, and then there's other people thinking, oh, he's normal. Who gives a shit now? Like,
yeah, I think you do get some of that because, especially with brain stuff, you look okay.
Yeah, like you don't look like you got your head cut open.
Yeah, nobody really knows what it takes to heal that.
Right.
So that part's hard. So anybody that's dealt with that kind of stuff, I feel for you, and anybody that's around people that you know, that just give them a chance and give them some extra space because it's a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. And people that have amnesia and all that different kinds of stuff, Alzheimer's, all that stuff it's really difficult to deal with. Well, I hope that Kenny enjoys this, and fuck, man, can you imagine if he wins a title?
That would be
like
insane.
I'm not saying that you
it's
said
so
the field is stacked,
but man, could it be something that kickstarts? And now, because you know for a fact we both do that. The last couple years, he goes into A1 or A2 or A3, and it's that same stadium that he got hurt at. You know for sure that there's something deep down. You can't put that.
Even if you're the most confident person, the vibe in the air is always there.
Right.
Yeah. Like, and that happens to me a little bit. Like when I go back to Glen Helen, I got paralyzed at Glen Helen.
Sure.
I broke my back coming down the hill, and it's every time I go there. It's not like I go there and I'm scared or anything.
No, but there's something there. You can feel it.
Yeah, it's just like this little weird thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever had those feelings when you feel like somebody tickled you in the shower, kind of thing, and like you're like, oh shit, like what was that? It was water, but like it was something in your head that makes you think like, whoa, what was it?
Yeah,
like, it's just scary, and so it's weird. Like, and I've been back to Glen Helen a million times. I've driven up that hill and down that hill a billion times. And to me, it was so respectful to see the way he handled himself and the way he lived it with all of the people around him. It's just so cool, man. And
definitely
for me, it hits home a lot because all of the things that I've been through, and that's why I prefaced it by saying people only usually get maybe one chance to do these kinds of things in their life, to make a significant impact like that.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, to that point of you never know how this could go from here on out, because maybe it turns that switch off of that little teeny bit of doubt.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's like on another level or something. Because he didn't just barely win. He smoked them.
He was awesome.
For a Supercross race.
They obviously had their own battles going on. He got out clean and was awesome, but he still did it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It was awesome. Can't say enough about it. Super pumped for him.
Exactly. And he did awesome. And that's why I was saying, like, to make the most of that situation, some people don't even get a chance to do that in their lives. And this is by no means tooting my horn, because I'm not proud of myself for having this opportunity, but I've had a couple times to be able to make those those big, impacts on people's lives. I don't know that I maximized them like the way that he's done, but I definitely feel like that connection was there with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool because I know now, like my journey and my path is a lot different than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to make an impact by being a racer, by showing people that you can do this stuff, even if you don't have the tools that everybody else has.
Sure.
Whether it be finances, whether it's not being able to use your legs properly, whatever it is.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there nowadays with disabilities that do it. Maybe I changed it. Maybe I didn't.
Right.
But it doesn't make any difference to me because I see these guys and I respect the shit out of them for doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So all that stuff
doubt.
means the world to me to be able to
sure.
see that stuff. And if that's the impact that I was supposed to make or I'm supposed to make in the future, I'm going to try my hardest just like Kenny.
Definitely.
So I think it'll be cool, man. And I think it'll be cool to see where he goes. Like you said, like, what if it just unlocked that little insecurity?
Oh, man. Well, what was so cool, too, was at the end he was doing, I mean, obviously it was all just a big thing going on, and hopefully he was just in the moment there, I'm sure. But he gave his little quick deal, and he's like, never give up.
Yeah.
And that was awesome because obviously that's your tag.
I don't know if that's just my tag,
No,
but
yeah,
I love saying that. We have a little statue over there that says "Never Give Up."
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I think it was amazing that he did all that stuff, and I just think it's so cool to see people do that. And you said that you want AC9 to do good. So what? I
mean, think of the adversity that he's had.
Okay, Adam
he hasn't really been like super hurt like that, but this is a guy that came through and was amateurs. Okay, he's gonna be the next so and so and the next yada yada.
Right.
And then he just continues to fail.
Push.
Right, push and fail, and then he gets so hard on himself. Because I was one of those guys for a while too. Like, oh, here he goes again. Really, dude? Because I guess maybe I'm drawn to that.
Yeah. What's he gonna mess up this time?
But then the way he turned it around, like I'm kind of on the fence on Barsha right now too, because the same thing. Like I used to I couldn't stand him, but when he comes out in front of everybody and says, "Look, maybe I made some mistakes before, and I gotta make this work."
There's very few people that own up to them, like own up to those things.
So I think Adam, with that personality, he's been so honest
with himself,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And everybody. It's all out in the open. Here I am. I'm doing the best I can. How can you not like get it?
Yeah.
And then finally to see him, that big guy, get on that 450 and just look like he was made for it. Like, oh, totally. Man, I'm so excited.
He looks so good.
He does.
You really do have to love that attitude, too. So I don't know if you know, but him and Roxon train together.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So what do you think, like, with this culmination of the things that we just said, do you think that's, like, going to breed excellence?
Well, it may have been already because they've been riding hard, and you've seen the playful stuff that's on social media, them messing around.
Well, I'm sure that the behind the scenes, even with that unplayful stuff, like when they're in the gym, they're like, hey, fuck you. They're like going at each other because both of them understand the same things.
Right. And so it's a similar thing. Like I said, we were just making those parallels with them together. So they're kind of fighting through the same thing. I feel like them being together and training and riding already is part of this positive outcome for Kenny. I really do.
Well, and for Adam, too.
And obviously for Adam.
He's going to learn from that, too.
Yep.
Man, that's crazy. I wonder if this is, I won't claim it, but I wonder if this is the end of the Baker's factory and Alden Baker, because these guys are doing all of this
their
stuff.
Own thing. Yeah.
And we know that motocross, any type of racing or life is a mental game. So if you can get that stuff
level,
worked out,
yeah,
we're not even at that level. Even if you got to go to work at the post office, it's still a mental game, right? Like, so if they got that worked out and they can both learn from each other, just imagine how much better it's going to be for them. Totally. Instead of just going and spinning laps all the time, they're actually training their brain to do all these great things.
Yep.
And speaking of Barsha, so one of my good buddies, Tom Danielson, I'd like to get him on the show. He's an ex-Tour de France rider and stuff like that. He was cool. Around the Lance Armstrong time and stuff like that. He's just a badass, man. He's Justin Barsha's trainer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I messaged him today a little bit, and because I was on the bicycle and I was thinking about him and Barsha, and said, man, you should come back. And he does a program called Cinch Cycle Coaching, and they go out and they tell people how to ride their bikes and do all kinds of
stuff. Yeah,
fun
I've actually
stuff,
seen those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's cool. He's an all-around badass dude. So it's cool to see all of these different people changing the way that motocross is and doing it at a high level. I love it, man. I can't wait to see what happens. Well, is there anything else that you saw at St. Louis that you thought was interesting?
I saw Faulkner be Faulkner again. I'm not a fan.
For some reason, I don't like his attitude.
I can't. It's like the biggest spoiled brat attitude that I've
So when he
ever
did
heard,
that little turnaround at Anaheim, like to me in my head, I was like, okay, he messed up. Like he's an idiot for messing up. So I gave him a pass, right? You gave him a pass. Okay.
Yeah, he's in the heat of the moment, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. He docked 2 positions, whatever. Right. He goes to the press conference and he still tries to it's like he's telling his mom that he didn't steal a cupcake when he stole a cupcake and his mom caught him red-handed. And he's telling everybody on national TV that he's okay for doing it.
On the podium, what's her name? I can't remember her name. But anyway, she mentions it.
Oh, Will Christian.
Yeah, and he goes off into exactly like you said.
Yeah.
I think his comment was something to the effect of, well, when you're doing it at this level.
It's like, and nobody's watching you or what, dude?
And I'm thinking, this lady, this personality knows everything about you. Don't think she? Yeah. Don't talk to people that way. You're an idiot.
Just went to a meeting for 3 or 4 hours about you, dude.
Right.
Like,
and again, there's a little bit that you say, okay, in the moment, but how about you humble up and go, yeah, that was a mistake.
Exactly.
That's it. Call it a day and say that'll never happen again. And I'm focused,
So you know who did that?
That would be Wade.
Adam Cincerillo.
How many times? Yeah.
I owned up to my mistake every single time. That's what he said.
Yep.
It's funny, then, because
that's why I'm such a fan.
Yeah, for sure. It just changes the way that you think of people. And this happens to everybody. It happens in football, it happens soccer, everything, all the sports. So it's cool to see that, man. And I'm glad motocross has these personalities now. It's just not just a broken record. So it's cool to definitely have all these people.
It's almost turning into a show. I mean, it is a show, but I mean, it's almost like Saturday I'm watching my favorite show.
Yeah.
With all these personalities, and all these characters, except it's real.
Yep.
Because of the depth. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but to me, even last year. Well, there's a bunch of guys, but everybody knew Webb was just going to clean it up. And as soon as he got into everybody's head, it's over. And I realize we're only round 2. We're pretty fresh in this, but there's so many stories going on that makes this so
The pages of the
awesome.
book are just starting to just write themselves, man.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I can't wait to see what the rest of the year has. And I want to get Shorter's opinion too. We'll see what he has to say about St. Louis too. It's just a cool time to be living in the motocross world. Yeah, it's funny that you said that because I don't even watch TV. I just have
me neither.
I just have YouTube. But then I'm what I just said, I'm waiting for Saturday night to check it out.
Counting the days.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with Josh Shorter. We'll see you guys in a second. We'll be right back. Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period.
Introducing Rigid's new SRL Series light bar, featuring a sleek 20-inch curved housing, ultra-wide forward projecting beam pattern, and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most applications. The Halo backlight feature is offered in red, white, blue, or amber, and is wired independently from the forward projecting light. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever to own the night.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Hey guys, George Hamill here to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Solder Weld. Who is Solder Weld, and what is their impact on the off-road community? Well, some of you may have seen Solder Weld's booths at the races, Lint 400, Vegas to Reno, Score and Snore events, and the UTV World Championship. You're seeing their stickers and sponsor wraps on more and more racers' vehicles every year. But who are they, and what do they have to offer us as off-road enthusiasts? Well, late last year, Solder Weld introduced their new off-road repair kit to the off-road industry and sold out their first week. The interest was overwhelming, as many off-roaders already knew of Solder Weld's aluminum radiator repair rods, and now they were included in a convenient carry kit in camo or black. If you're a racer of any type or off-road enthusiast like myself, you're going to want to take a close look at this product. Solder Weld has combined some of their most elite products into one small kit that fits perfectly under your seat or strapped into your roll cage and allows you to make some insane fixes anywhere you go. How many of us have been in a race or out on the trail and got a rock chip in a radiator or a brake line? We've literally seen a top-tier desert race truck at the 2019 Mint 400 taken out by a simple rock to the radiator. If they would have had an off-road repair kit on board, they could have been back up and running in just a minute. The kit includes everything you need to work on dirty aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and many other metals. Solder Weld's cutting-edge technology allows you to make these fixes with extremely low heat and incredible high tensile strength, leaving you with a lasting fix every time. Don't be that guy who broke down on the side of the trail. Get your off-road repair kit today. Your friends will thank you. Yeah, buddy. How's it going, Josh? Nice to see you tonight.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
What's going on?
How's things going over there?
Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. How's things going over there?
Fantastic. I mean, it's winter in SoCal, and we freeze easily over here.
we do too. We're lizards also.
You guys know. You're desert people, right? Yep. You guys know.
Absolutely.
Dude, I got the heater. Yeah. I got the heater set at like 70. Like when it gets 71, I'm like, nope, heater going on.
Hey, I wanted to chime in because obviously I've been listening to the show, and a couple things because you guys are going deep on some stuff that I'm sitting here just like, God, why can't I be on the show already?
Vibrating, yeah.
Like jumping off the injury thing. Everybody gets their big one, right? Mine was femur shatter in 04, right? This is shortly before George, you and I met.
Yeah.
And go through the rehab, get the whole process, everything else, therapy, everything else. And it was funny when I went back in after like 4th or 5th month or whatever it was. And she's like, okay, today we're going to learn how to walk. And I'm like, I've been walking for 26 years. I know how to walk. What are you talking about? She goes, oh, really? Do you? Take that first step. And I just fell to the floor.
Dude.
Like, it's amazing how your body just completely forgets the simplest thing you think you could never forget, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of a trippy thing. And then, going further down the line with your guys' conversation about what Kenny has gone through, what Kenny has accomplished. Oh, sweet. I'm picking my nose on your thing.
Right on, dude. Here, I'll match you, dude. See who can get the bigger booger.
Thank you. It looks like we're a little sticky on the feet. But no, talking about what Kenny accomplished and everything. And I think, I don't know anybody who's not a fan of the guy. He's always been, respectful guy, hardworking dude, passionate about racing. You can't argue with that, right?
Right.
And it was really something special to watch, as you guys mentioned, to watch Saturday night and to see it all come together for him. Good for Kenny. Yeah, he's not a Thor rider, but hey. Racing's racing, you gotta love the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that you love racing and you love the whole action sports culture in general. So you got a lot of respect for not only Kenny but a lot of other dudes too. And when you have a story like, well, you've broken multiple bones, but like when you did your leg and then you have to learn how to walk again, you have a direct correlation of what, I mean, maybe not the same level, but what he's going through. It's crazy, man.
Right.
Oh, that's career. That is career ending for the overwhelming majority of people. He had the right people behind him and the right, capabilities to get that stuff figured out, man.
Yeah, it is really cool.
That's a miracle. That's a miracle for sure.
I actually love seeing them talk about those doctor stories, like, because we know he had a lot of help with the Red Bull guys and the Red Bull doctors and stuff. It's cool to see that there's actually, we hear it every day, doctors don't do shit, but it's cool to see those people putting in like tons and tons of effort into fixing somebody like him.
Totally.
Sports medicine, man. Sports medicine's a different thing than it used to be 20, 30, 40 years ago, 100 years ago. They're just like, nah, you're dead.
Yeah,
even
exactly.
If you're just like, you're like, nah, man, I'm still breathing. Nah, you're dead. So, it is a wonderful thing to see. It's keeping people going faster, farther, longer in their careers. It's a wonderful thing. It's a great time to be alive in sports.
Dude,
so, yeah.
It totally is. Well, like you said before, like you basically got hurt right before we met, and I don't even know when it was. Maybe this was 06 or something when you and I first met. Like, it was way back, and we met out at Ocotillo Wells. What did I go out there for the One Industries guys trip with you and Nolan and a couple other guys?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's kind of funny because, and again, talking about it, and you guys you touched on it quite a bit today, and I'm sure, a lot of the listeners know the story, but George, you've always been something of an inspiration to me, if I may say.
Thanks, bud.
Because dude, you went out and went ahead and paralyzed yourself like an idiot. And then when I met you, it was like, I got to meet you. We're going to have some fun. We're just playing around, having a good time. And you never lost that fire, that passion for it. And then X Games comes out, adaptive X Games. Like, hey, there's people that still have that drive and that passion, the ability to get back out there, put the work in and do it.
Yep.
Here's George on TV out there ripping. I'm just like, dude, motherfuckers on X Games. Check him out. Like, pretty awesome, dude. It was awesome to follow all that. I was there when you broke your wrist, on whichever year that was during X Games.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
The best part about that though is I was the only one that made Sports Center. Not even like Wyndham made Sports Center. I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, dude, it was all, dude.
I wadded myself up just to get the TV time. That's what I tell everybody.
It's worth it. You got TV time, dude. And then picking up with the side-by-side racing, evolving into this podcast. I mean, dude, it's the will to do it and the drive to make it happen, man. You're a competitor, you're a racer through and through, and we all enjoy this stuff. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the dirt life. It says it right there.
Yep, exactly. Well, how'd you get into the dirt life? Did you grow up doing all that stuff?
So I'm from San Diego, born in East County in the Cajon Zone. When I was a kid, the Cajon Zone was the Cajon zone.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ricky Johnson, all those guys.
Burner, RJ, Glover, Lachine, all those guys. When I was a kid, you could roll down the street, and that was your nearest track, was at the end of the road.
Yep.
Nowadays, especially in Southern California, real estate being what it is, you get arrested for that. When I was a kid, it was a different time. It was a special time for sure. Growing up, riding locally, local tracks, the desert. I mean, I come from a desert family big time. Like parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody.
Going to the dunes and stuff?
Yep. Between the dunes and Akatia Wells and, Superstition, just kind of that triangle essentially. But yeah, a lot of time out there in the dirt. And, talk about the industry side. One of my first gigs at 16, I was working for Chaparral in San Diego. A lot of people don't know there were actually 2 Chaparral stores.
I always thought they were San Bernardino, but I guess they had 2, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they had the 2. And then when they shut the San Diego one down, they rolled everything into the big one to make the San Bernardino one the big thing that it is now.
When you guys went and spent that month in California when you were doing your pro motocross stuff, how many times did you have to go over there and buy parts?
Yeah, a couple times. But I remember the first time, because we're from a small town. Tucson's small. We're barely at 1 million now, right?
Yeah.
So
I think 850 a million, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a couple of bike shops, and with hardly anything on the shelf. So we rolled into that place the first time, and the first part that was amazing was
like
that
Disneyland?
Every brand, that's not even – they're all fighting here for the Honda, the Yamaha shop. Yeah. This is all of them and everything you can think of. We were just, like you said, in heaven. Of course, we didn't have any money, but but it was awesome. I'll never forget seeing that for the first time.
Well, that's kind of like leads me in. Like, what got you into doing all the action sports stuff then? If you did get a job at Chaparral, were you kind of the same as what Casey was, just like a kid, like, dude, this is so awesome?
Yeah, I mean, it's proximity. Being from San Diego doesn't hurt. A place where motocross is king. Yeah, and then you surf. And then, the mountains aren't that far away. The skateboard scene's super robust in SoCal. I grew up BMX racing since I was a little kid, So just anything. I wasn't a very good team player. Like team sports wasn't my thing. So,
me neither. Neither one of us, I don't think.
Right. It's kind of a natural progression for people that aren't really into stick and ball sport to kind of evolve into more independent sports and, in a sense, selfish pursuits in a lot of ways, right?
That's exactly the opposite of your day job now, though. You're a huge team player.
True. Good point. But it revolves around dirt bikes, and dirt bikes don't suck ever.
So, it's the equalizer.
No, that's it. That brings up a really good point. It's like motocross. I built my career around motocross, off-roading, dirt bikes, And I love being a team player. I love our crew. Our crew at Thor is just an incredible group of people working really hard. That'd be a great behind-the-scenes episode, by the way. See what goes on the day-to-day. It's kind of nuts, to develop gear and everything.
Well, I was going to call you tomorrow. I'll just say it on the live show, but I was going to call you tomorrow because I'm going to be in Southern California towards the end of the month. I was going to come say hi.
We do drop-ins. Come on through, man.
Sweet.
But it's funny, like, to succeed in our business, right? This is a passion, right? Power sports is a passion. How do you make $1 million in power sports?
Start with 2.
Start with 2, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you got to work hard. You got to be core. You got to be true to it. You got to be true to your team. But then on the opposite end of my spectrum is surfing. And surfing is the most selfish thing in the world. I don't want you to learn how to surf. I don't want you at my beach. I don't want you there. Yeah. I want everybody to forget about surfing and go do something. Go rollerblade. I don't care.
So I can be the only one in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's finite resources. There's only so many waves that are coming your way during that couple hours you're in the water, right? You don't want people there. So
that's actually a really good point.
It is a very good point. Yep.
It's a balance of life. I'm friendly. I'm polite. Anybody coming to Anaheim this weekend, dude, we'll hang out. We'll chug a beer. If I see you at my beach, I'll kick your ass.
Don't grab my waves. Yeah, that's funny that you say that because we had when I lived in Southern California, we had our offices in like right on the beach in Solana Beach, and we would always go to wherever and eat at Burgers and Beers and all those places. And whenever we'd go there, we'd see all the surfer guys, and we had a complete opposite mentality of them. Like, we were like, hey, what's going on? They're like, I don't really want to talk to you. You're a little bit different than me, so.
A little salty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you said a little salty from the ocean. So you grew up doing BMX then, yeah?
Yep.
What kind of stuff did you do? Did you race, or did you guys just do flatland and freestyle and stuff, or what?
Yeah, actually, pretty much anything. See, started out racing really young because there was a really robust scene at that time. I mean, you're talking throughout the 80s into the 90s. Like, BMX was really strong. We had a variety of tracks to choose from all throughout SoCal. There still are a good deal of them, but the scene isn't as healthy as it was back then. So you had racing, but then you also had a time in life where kids could ride their bicycles to school. People weren't freaked out. It was helicopter parenting. It was like, see you when the lights come on, Mom and Dad, but then get in trouble because you didn't make it back when the lights came on.
So many times.
I should have I wore the wrong shirt. I wore this shirt just because I was thinking about my racing stuff, but I got a rad racing shirt. I should have worn that one.
Oh, dude, nothing wrong with that little Crew Jones action. Come on.
Track.
But, also at that time, and once again, going back to the land grab of San Diego, Southern California, was like every dirt lot where I grew up was jumps. Every lot. Dude,
that's awesome.
This was like, pre X Games or all these, all these events that are on nowadays with these jumps, all these jump lines and everything else, all these packs. That was it everywhere you looked when I grew up. Now, if it's brown dirt, it's covered in, condos or apartments nowadays. So.
Yeah, like Carlsbad got covered up by all that industrial stuff. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
I only got to ride there once. Did you ever get to ride there a few times, or like how long?
Yeah, when did it shut down? Yeah. Well, I tell you what.
Early 2000s,
There's still parts of the track you can see. You can barely make out parts of the track. After San Diego Supercross, if you guys are coming out, you got to come to Scott Burnworth's Carlsbad MX reunion.
What's that?
It's at a brewery that's right there where the track used to be.
No way.
It's pretty sick.
It's kind of ironic, though, that DC Shoes is Super Action Sports. They're the one that has the warehouse on Carlsbad Raceway.
Well, they get to stake their claim on one of those hills, huh?
Exactly.
It's pretty rad, like hanging out there, because always these legends come along, guys that really raced there during the Trans Ams and stuff like that were going
golden
on.
era. Yeah.
It's a trip, all the old footage and stuff, and I remember going there all the time as a kid. And it's just a bummer, man, because it's like right over the hill from where I live. It's like, dude, if that was still open, I'd be unreal.
When we were kids, like, we would see videos of that stuff and just be like, oh my God, that's like unobtainable. Like, these Southern California dudes are so rad. Like, dang it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here we are racing once a month or something. And they're racing like 3 times a week.
Arizona's scene wasn't near as strong as yours. We had to build our own bicycle jumps where we live, so we didn't have those packs everywhere.
Right. And it's funny because, like, talk about BMX racing is in Chandler, the Bicycle Association, whatever it's called now, USA BMX, I think.
Yep.
Is still in Chandler. It's like still the scene,
Phoenix is actually pretty big for bicycle stuff. One of our show sponsors, Shock Therapy, their photographer, his name is Chase, and he's super into BMX and stuff like that. And he was saying that Tucson and Phoenix will both have a real strong BMX culture now, and which is
for sure.
It's super cool. Yeah, it's super cool to hear that. Like, I love hearing those stories because we didn't have that, and now when they say it's strong, I'm like, yes, keep it going. Like,
definitely.
Like, they mean like it's the best.
Well, it's funny because BMX is so important to all of us for what we do.
Yeah.
2 wheels, 4 wheels, whatever in the dirt, tires in the dirt, it starts with BMX because
it's the gateway.
Young little kids can do it.
Yep.
And it's gateway. The barrier to entry is a lot lower than $10,000 for a 450,
Right.
Like, you can start off young, start off inexpensive, and it's a family sport. That's the thing about it.
Yep.
Like, I may not have wanted to play with other kids, but my family was there. It's like, it's important.
Well, now that you have, we'll get into it a little bit too, but real quick, you have a 1.5-year-old daughter. Like, have you seen those new, I don't know if they're electric or what they are, but they're those little tiny bikes that you can use your feet and then they like.
Striders.
And then are the next step up is electric? Yeah, those are bitching.
Oh yeah.
They do have
Yeah,
that
those
too.
things are killer. Yeah, she's saving her chore money right now, so she'll get
1.5 years old. She's already got to do chores.
No, that's funny, and I think I sent you some of those shots to post, and I'm pretty sure one of them was her on her little push bike.
Yeah,
she got it for her
go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to put
some.
I'm going to put some of those pictures up on the screen real quick while we keep talking.
Oh sure, yeah.
So one of the pictures is you with who is that? Thorsten Hallman.
Yes.
So
Thorsten Hallman, original racewear. Thor.
Oh yeah, there's a little girl.
Well, look how perfect that's like the epic photo because look at the
gear.
gear.
And the gear.
It's a throwback to probably like his first kind of setup, right? Is that a pretty good take?
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was Hallman Racing from 68 to 88.
Yep, remember that?
And then by 89 it shortened to the acronym Thor, Thorsten Hallman Original Racewear.
Right.
Or Thorsten literally translates to son of Thor, so it's kind of related in that way too. It's
nice.
Play on the name.
Perfect.
I'm a history nerd, so I get into that stuff. But yeah, a couple of seasons ago we relaunched the Hallman brand, and that's all I'm wearing these days, man. I love that stuff.
That's super cool, man. So that's really neat. How did you even get into the brand manager position then? So you work your way up through quite a bit of I don't want to say quite a bit because that sounds weird, but like you worked with some really good action sports companies. One of the companies that we know you from is Spy. You also worked with Who Won Industries, Tag Metals, and a company called Hook It. How did you end up working your way into the gig you have now?
Time, patience, be cool to people. Anymore these days, people ask you, "Hey, I just want to do what you do. What are you doing right now?" "Oh, I'm digging ditches."
Yeah, you don't have to put anything in. Hold on, let me put your name in.
Okay, yeah. You're like,
right.
Okay.
I was thinking about quitting tomorrow. You want to just take over here?
Yeah.
So the thing of it is, and again, and I touched on it earlier, is that to establish a career in what we do, you got to care about it. You got to be passionate about it. You got to put the time in, and don't be a dick to people.
Oh, absolutely. And you never ever know what's going to come back.
That's for sure.
Exactly. Mind the toes you step on, because one day they might be connected to the ass you kiss.
100% though.
So I started at Chaparral was my first gig. I worked at Moto World in El Cajon. And then progressed, through this side of it, as you said, with these other brands, and just learned a lot. Back when you and I met, however long ago that was, I was still being, young and dumb and naive and not really listening. Well, eventually I started listening, started paying attention, start doing the work, and start really caring about the work you put out there and how you're perceived by people, how you treat people, and it comes around.
Yeah,
so
100%.
As far as Thor, it just kind of worked out. I'd known Jim Gallagher, who's been director there. Jim's been there since 1986, which is to say when it was still Hallman. And Jim
awesome.
and I got talking, and we just put something together to get me in there. It wasn't even called brand manager at first. It was just it was an evolving sort of game plan. And that's where I'm at a few years later. So love it.
It's funny you say that too, because the action sports industry is actually a really a good industry to work in because. Here, let me just preface a little bit. So I graduated with a computer science degree, so I know how to work on computers and stuff. And my first job was at Spy, and like my first job literally, I went from being a professional motocross racer to being in the hospital to going to a job at Spy. Like it was crazy.
I forgot that.
And
I forgot all about it.
It was nuts, but like they just needed help in the IT department. And he's like, the guy went in and interviewed, and he's like, you know what? Like you're not a computer dude. Like you're an action sports dude. You'll fit in perfect. He's like, we don't really have much. Like just come in and work a couple hours a week. The first week I worked 67 hours. And then so I was full time from then on for that next year. Like
we don't have much.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. But the point to this story is like the action sports companies are super cool to work for. Like they're super open. They're super like everybody's cool. They know that they're growing. Usually it's an evolving company that's always got their, mark set on the prize. They want to win.
Right.
And the adverse of that was going to work at years later. I went to work at some computer companies, and it is just stale. It fucking you don't want to go to work. It's just horrible. So when Josh says he's happy that he's been in the action, he really means it because it's cool.
You can tell. You can tell how the way you talk about it, obviously.
Yeah, well, it is a passion. It is, I tell people this a lot. When people I have a lot of these conversations, kind of like based on what you're saying, George, just like, it's kind of stale and whatever, I talk to all these people that, had kind of that foot drag about their gig, and people are like, what about you? Surely there's times when work sucks or whatever, challenges, things like that, which of course it does. And, when there's this talk of how do you keep going with it? I care. I tell people, this isn't my job. This is my life. It's always been my life. I grew up on two wheels. I'm going to die on two wheels. I don't want to die on two wheels, but you know what I mean?
When you're around like-minded individuals and all that stuff. So it makes it that much cooler. Yeah.
That's one of the most important things. Sorry to cut you off. One of the most important things about Thor is that Thor is owned by Parts Unlimited, Le Mans Corporation.
Yep.
It is the biggest of its kind in our industry, right? Distribution is the forte of the organization. They own several brands like Thor. And it's kind of funny because back in 20 years ago, my punk rock days of damn the man, it's all about, punk rock and everything else. And,
right.
in my perspective back then, it was kind of like Parts Unlimited's like the man, Well, come full circle, and it's like the company is still owned and operated by the family that founded it 51 years ago. Fred Fox started Parts Unlimited 51 years ago. He's still in the office, as far as I can tell, 5 days a week. I'm not in Wisconsin where they're at, but I know he's in there a lot.
I love that, dude.
In our office a few weeks ago.
That is so cool.
And the dude is passionate about motors. He's, in a sense, I'm not saying I'm like Fred Fox. I'm just saying he's passionate about motorcycles.
Yep.
He comes in, he wants to talk to us about our life revolving around motorcycle, not like, break out some spreadsheets, let's crunch some numbers and be miserable for 6 hours. He's like, just talking about the health of the industry, how other brands are doing, people that are failing, going out of business, who's new on the horizon. He wants to know that stuff. And he's in his 80s, so it's impressive, man.
What's so awesome about the perspective there, go back to the punk rock days, like you said, and it's the man. And what's funny is that this guy is the man, but it's a different the man. I'm thinking of this, and I'm like, he's the man in the fact of you're steering the industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not putting chains on people and saying you have to conform. This is like, we all love this, so we're going to
grow together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those.
That's an awesome way to think about it. It really is.
Pretty cool.
That's cool that you can work for a company like that too.
It feels pretty good, I'll tell you. Honestly, like I say, from the very top down, everyone cares. And, we're talking about the man in the modern sense, as I've come to learn. And again, I learn a lot. I'm still learning. I'm 42, dude, but it's important to learn.
So we got to do it every day. Yep.
Got to do it. The man in the sense, these days, it's people that really don't care about, wheels and dirt and fuel and helmets and things like that. It's people that only stare at those spreadsheets. Now you have to make money.
Sure.
You got to make money. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Profit is not a bad word.
Right.
But when you live and die by the numbers, it's a shame.
Yeah.
And it hurts a lot of businesses in our industry, in our very small industry. It looks gigantic from the outside, but it is really small.
It has a way to extinguish the fire that the passionate people have. And then all of a sudden you forget as an entity what you're good at.
Yeah.
Like what like what we do, and we start a project, I know that when I hand the keys over to the owner, that's a lifetime client of mine. And we're a partner.
Yeah, but
as soon as it becomes, like you said, all of a sudden it becomes so stale and sterile that it's like, okay, we made some money, we're good to go. Where you go so much further when everybody's acting like this. We have the same goal. We want to further the industry. We want to make it for our kids so they can grow up in something just like this.
I don't remember what it was, but there was, and not to get off on a business tangent, but like late 2009, early 2010, somewhere in that area, there was actually a study done that these big Fortune 400 and 500 companies were going out and researching how all these independent, not even for-profit companies were like in action sports were working because they saw so much dynamic in the organizations that they wanted to copy that fluidity and processes that everybody is using. That's so cool. And he lives it every day, man.
Yep. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
A little bit jealous.
And then those companies that go out there and do that research, they're the ones that drive it into the ground and make people miserable after they end.
They really do, because it's so hard. And you're right. It's so hard to mimic that same culture because it's just the passion that on all the individuals that have it.
Right.
Well, that's cool, man. And how long have you been doing the brand manager stuff? Well, actually, you know what? Take us through a day and what the brand manager does.
Oh, what do I do in a day? How long do we have?
Casey, take us through a snippet, because Casey was wondering this earlier, because you obviously have to deal with the marketing team, sales team, all those people. So what's a typical day or a shortcut or Cliff's Notes day of yours?
Correction. No sales involved per se. I got to look at the numbers. I got to have an understanding of what's happening with our business within the market globally. There's parts and limited distribution in the States, parts Canada, parts Europe for the EU. We've also got other partners in every other country throughout the world to sell Thor products. We've got to be aware of that stuff. We've got to know how well it's trending. But as far as what happens in Thor, in San Diego, in the building, we've got our design, which is to say, the brain trust of the products we're creating and the designs therein, the development team to bring those things to life. We've got the marketing and the athlete support team, which take care of riders from our support riders on up to Google Web you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
And then our media team, all of our digital and print, all of our media outlets, social, everything, all of that is housed in the Thor building. So interesting talking about kind of what I do there. It's kind of funny, and we were just talking about this just the other week. At just company powwow, is that literally half the building is 3.5, give or take, years and under for being at Thor.
Wow, that's crazy.
The other half the building is about 12 to 13 years and more. Like I said, our director, Jim Gallagher, has been there since 86. So it was very interesting. I got in there a few years ago, and it was really an interesting time because there was people that were still so new to the brand, to the organization, and then people that had lived it for decades, literally. So it was important. There was sort of a big change in staff for a variety of reasons. Some people picked up different jobs, here and there in the industry, outside the industry. Some people did the whole move home back east kind of thing. Yeah. So there was just a big shift in the staff there. Not one thing in particular, not something to focus on. Oh, that's the reason all these people moved. It was a really big, weird change over the course of a year and a half. So I got in there at the end of this big changeover, and it's time to get everyone kind of clicking and jiving on the same page. I bring my passion in and say, hey, you guys, I want us all to feel like we're the biggest and best brand in the world, because
awesome.
In most cases, Thor is, whether you're talking exposure, rider, sales. I mean, like, again, I don't like to pin everything on sales, but Thor is gigantic, and it's important for everyone to feel that and be a part of this culture. And we're driving toward not only the products that you're seeing. It takes a couple of years through product cycles to get this stuff out.
Yep.
So not only the products you're seeing out there in the market right now, but new things coming the end of this year, some really big drops coming next year. There's a lot of new stuff that we're going to see over these next, couple seasons for Thor.
Some of the cool things that I got from that when he was talking is like a little easier to understand from not so much of a business answer like what he gave is that he gets to bring some of those cool things that you see now to life with his fantastic teams that he has and all the people that work there. Like the gear that's on Cooper Webb right now, the stuff that Jeremy McGrath uses in some of his promotional videos. Like he gets to really see those things come to life. So it's like seeing it from zero all the way up to being on those professional riders' backs. It's super cool, man. Like some of that stuff like takes a long time to come to fruition too.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine you have a pretty good team and you get to. I mean, obviously, it's an amazing team. I'm sure you would say that, but it looks like that you get to take the guys that have that tenure there, and then you have the new guys that maybe have some different ideas.
Blend everybody.
And you get to make that gel, and I bet that's probably what's just keeping everything so new, so exciting.
That brings up a fantastic point, and I'd like to point out, I don't do anything per se. I don't design anything. I don't talk to the manufacturers overseas. This team is an amazing team, and these people bust their asses. I just make sure they got what they need to get the work done. I make sure everyone's got what they need. You know, so all the credit goes to everybody in that building. I just, like you said, I'm along for the ride. I get to see it start from zero and go all the way to being on Cooper. Running that number one play. I'm along for the ride. Again, I'm just a fan of it per se. But I think Casey brought up a really good point. Is there are young and inexperienced people, and being at some of these meetings and having somebody say, I don't really know how this works. And seeing somebody who's the more old school, been through it all, done it all, kind of nurture the younger guys along and kind of help evolve the team as a whole. Right. It's really cool. Again, I'm just passionate about. I'm nerd level passionate about this stuff, so I enjoy that.
I got to tell you one thing is when I went to work for the action sports companies, I never had a boss like Josh. I would have loved to have had somebody that had that passion, because that would have curated me to have a lot better outlook on the things that I was doing at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
So it would be super cool to be one of those new guys in the Thor organization and have him as we'll call it him as the leader, or the one that's bringing it all to life and making sure everybody meshes. That's bitching, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Hey, Josh, you're humbling yourself quite a bit. I can see between the lines. I'm in an industry that has, so I'm giving you props for the leader has to have the vision and be able to surround yourself with people that can do it. You don't have to do everything, but you know how to surround yourself with the people and lead them, obviously. And I guarantee you they're giving you 110% because you have the same fire. You're selling the fire to them, but it's real. You know what I mean?
100%.
You're not putting up a bunch of charts and whatevers, and like you said, sales are important, absolutely. But they're doing this because they know they're making an impact, and it's that they're worth. So,
and I'm going to tell you, I do appreciate that, really. But like I said, it's a building of racers, riders. I mean, maybe not everybody there is full-blown racer, rider all the time. But, I mean, everybody there has ridden a motorcycle, or if they get the chance to go ride and, hey, let's do a group ride, get together, something like that. Everybody there throws a leg over, So it makes it easy.
Dude,
when everybody gives.
It's a culture. It's a culture.
Not to change the subject, but I just had this little butterfly land on my shoulder. If everybody does that, we should get everybody to go across the country with us.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if I told you, Josh, but we're planning on doing. I'm calling it Off-Road Across America, and we're going to take the Trans-America Trail from Oregon all the way down to South Carolina, just in dirt, and we're going to take some. People in side-by-sides. I'm probably going to dual sport it. I think Casey might dual sport it, and we're going to go across the country and try to see if we can raise some money and, maybe do like $1 a mile and give all that money back to Red Bull Wings for Life and see if we could cure some spinal cord injuries.
Wow, good call, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to do it in September. I don't know. We should talk about it later, man. See if you guys want to get in on it.
Dude, by all means, follow up with me on that one. I want to do something. Whatever we can do to help out.
Yeah, or just come along for the ride. I think it'd be fun. Yeah.
Or if I could vacation.
You're going to have to get you a dual sport, though. You just got your Moto shredder, right?
Yeah, dual sports are fun. I'm just not old yet.
Jerk.
You'll get there.
No, I'll get what I swear.
We all get there.
I don't know if you know, but I bought a 450L and I had it for just a few months before I got hurt. But dude, that thing was actually super cool. Like it was almost Moto-esque. Like it was pretty bitchin'.
That's cool.
And they got a 6-speed too.
Yeah, but have you seen these videos guys are posting? Like Kenny, Seeley, Justin Morgan.
Those guys are fucking nuts.
Wins everything in Baja.
Yeah,
ripping on that. And those dudes are out there just hammering it. Sick.
We weren't doing anything like that. I mean, we went out on actually your best competitor. We went out on a Tucker-Rocky ride day, and it was super fun. We did I think 200 miles. We stopped at a cafe and got hamburgers and stuff. It was neat. I kind of thought
Sounds
like
like
you.
fun.
I'm like, oh, I just want to go moto. Like, I'm going to be the fastest dude or whatever. And then I went out there and I actually had a pretty good time. I was like, shit, this is actually pretty cool.
I'll tell you the truth about it. I've ridden plenty of dual sports. Like, they're so much fun.
What did you
and the
ride?
Freedom they're in. What's that?
Which one did you ride? Like a Husqvarna
like
700?
XR650. I've ridden the 701. Yeah, that new 701, which is rad. It feels like a tank compared to a motocross bike, right?
Dude.
The KTM 500 is awesome. So I've ridden a few of them in recent years, but having a baby, tough for me to be like, all right, honey, I just got home from work. Now I'm going to go for a ride for a few hours later. So it's like, if I do get some time, I just go hit the track because we've got Paula out here, Verona.
Just go rip for a little bit.
Milestone, Paris is all time right now. So,
oh, really? What's that new one that they
Paris
got?
Really fun.
That's where Star West changed too, right?
That's State Fair MX. I haven't been there yet.
It looked like they added a bunch of tracks.
Just went down. State Fair opened up, and then JS67, I think they're calling it, MX is going to open this year too. So there's some good stuff opening up. It's cool.
That's in Southern California is coming up, man. Well, we were just talking about Cooper Webb a little bit. Like, what are some of the fun things or the cool things that you can, like, over the past few years working at Thor that you got to be able to do? I saw one actually where you were with, I don't know, it was a dealer show or something, but you were with McGrath and you guys were doing a release or something. That looked cool, but what's like on your radar that was really cool in the past couple of years?
Jeez. Wow.
Something memorable.
I guess there's been a lot.
I mean, obviously, Cooper winning was probably pretty sick.
That honestly was something that I'd been just fingers crossed for every season since I started. Because the last 450 champ before my time was Villo. So it was nice to see Cooper come out and win that thing, because I've been a Cooper fan since he was a grommet, and he's been in Thor since he was a kid,
Yep.
So that was pretty amazing. It's really nice seeing what's going on at Star Racing. I mean, they're handing it to the 250 guys right now.
Yeah,
those guys have been crushing some titles the past 5 years now. So that's been cool. Between Plessinger, Ferrandis, Cooper, the Martin brothers, it's been awesome to be around for that. These product launches that we do, we talk about seeing like pics of Jeremy and I at an event. These product launches, because I am still just such a fan for racing, it's never lost on me when I have the opportunity to have riders, our elite level riders out there, to talk about, Thor's great, I love this product, here's why, and to get them on camera and to hang out and do these events with them. It always means something to me. It's always I always say it's the best day of my life, whether I'm out on a photo shoot with one of these guys in some environment, or we've got them at a product launch to introduce what's new for the next season, things like that. That stuff's just such a blast, again, because I'm so passionate about it. I love what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. And if you can couple it in, speaking of Plessinger, it was our launch a couple years ago now, when it was after he had won Supercross and then Outdoors. And
he was on fire that year.
A year and a half ago, I guess. And we're hanging out at the launch, and we've got guys coming up. You had Muscan come up. We had Jeremy come up. We had Aaron there come up. Played a little guitar with the band. Plus, he was losing his mind, dude. Guy's awesome. And I asked him, I did a little Q&A with the guys in front of the audience, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, your 250 SX and outdoor champ, however I worded it. And he comes up and I said, you ever going to get tired of hearing that? And he just looks at me straight in the eyes. He's like,
nope,
never. And I'm just like, that's my man right there, passion.
Yep.
A similar thing happened this year. Of course, we've got the Standing Construct team over in the MXGPs, right? They were KTMs the last bunch of years. They're going to be running gases this year. So you've got Ivo Monticelli.
Did you know that gas was still around?
I heard they were making a pretty big push.
They are. They've stayed around in enduro bikes and trials, but
okay. Right.
But then so we're hanging out. We're talking with it was Ivo Monticelli and then Glenn Koldenoff, and Glenn Koldenoff went 1-1 at Donations 2 days ago at Redbud. Right.
That guy rips. Super good.
Rips.
For sure.
Super underrated. He's been hurt a bit and stuff. He's back to fitness. He's crushing it right now. comes out last MXGP season, wins a bunch of races toward the end of the season there, coming into the Nations. I was over in Assen for that storm of the century over there, freezing wind, all that stuff. And I go and I get a chance to meet up with Glenn again. And I said, hey, man, it was just a pleasure to watch you go last year at Redbud with that 1-1. Dude, you just dominated out there. He just looks me just square in the face, and he's just like, again, today. And I'm just like, oh, really?
Dang.
I said, oh, yeah? Like, oh, really? You think you're going to do that? He's like, oh, yeah. And just feeling it, sure as shit, dude. He went out there and crushed everybody again. So,
dude, way to follow up with your words, too. That's bitching.
Dude, just owned it. Like, so it's these guys out here, it's these experiences with these athletes and the guys that are just as passionate as I am about riding. It means a lot to me. So, I love that stuff.
We got a bunch of comments that came in. They just actually showed up right now. So I'll look at the comments when we ask another question. But you do Supercross. Casey and I were talking about it a little earlier, and I've always had like a bunch of admiration for that event. First reason is because I've never been able to surf. So, and I'm scared shitless of the ocean too. I don't know if
there's things in there that
dude,
you can't see.
So I did an Ironman in Oceanside in 09, 010, or something like that. And I was just swimming in the Oceanside Harbor, and I was still scared shitless, dude. So you do Supercross, which is you surf one day, and you have a bunch of idiot motocrossers that go out there and surf, and a bunch of professional surfers. And then you go Moto the next day, right? And you got a bunch of idiot surfers that go out there and ride Moto, and then Moto guys too, right?
So, and the order is backward.
Okay, so it goes motocross the first day?
You got to survive Moto. And I'll tell you, some of the things that I've seen there. Now, I've been doing Supercross since like 08 or something, 7, 8. So it's been going since like 2000 or maybe even 99. And the things I've seen from professional surfers that have no idea how to ride a motorcycle. I'm talking open wounds. Dude lost a finger a couple years ago. like some gruesome stuff. But it's also entertaining when nobody gets hurt real bad, yeah, man, you go out there. There's an industry class, there's a pro class. I'm not a has-been. I'm a never was. So I'm always in the industry class, except for this 1 year I was in pro. But anyway, it was awesome.
That one time.
But then, you get paired up, and industry. It's just, hey, do you work in surf or moto industry? You're in, and it's random draw. Same for moto, however, same for pro. But in pro, it's a pro surfer teamed up with a pro motocross racer. And any given year at Supercross, it looks like a proper national out there with who's lined up on the gate. Like, it's gnarly. Like, the pro class, there are like some big dogs show up for that. Just you never know who's going to pop up.
I've always wanted to go check this thing out, man.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we got a couple people. Ken Johnson from, Lucas Ken Johnson, but now I forgot where he works now. But he said, "Shorter's a good dude. What's up?"
KJ works for KJ Enterprises, dude. Come on.
I know. Well, I talked to him the other day a little bit. I still I want to get him on the show too. He's an all around good dude.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a couple.
Don't let him keep telling you about how that time you beat McGrath on minis. We all know, Katie. Come on.
That one time. Hey, I don't know if you can see it since we got the iPhone all set up weird today, but we got the little mini 110, the Honda CRF in the studio this morning or this evening too.
I saw the 19 on there.
Yeah.
I saw the 19.
It's not quite as good as the KLX that I had that one day with those Marzochis and stuff on it, but this one's pretty cool.
Proper. Did I send you that? Maybe I didn't send you that picture. Kenny was reminiscing on social media about the heydays of mini bike racing, right? I mean, it was huge. I've been on ESPN exactly one time in my life, and it was for mini bike racing.
Sweet.
Which, but it's funny because we've all got 110s in our crew, like our desert crew and stuff like that. It's like, wake up in the morning, go rip 110s.
Yep.
After the end of the day when it's happy hour, get on the 110s, try to hurt each other,
We were helping teach Casey's daughter how to to drive because she's just going to get her license soon. And we took her out in the Unicorn, which is the Yamaha YXZ side by side that we have.
Beautiful.
And she was doing it and stuff, but he had to ride the little 110 down to this like secret spot that we have right by my house, which it was like Ayresburg Enduro on a 110.
Yeah, it was.
So he's going through all these rocks and shit. He goes down the wash. He's going like fourth gear wide open because it's the only way you can go. And he just hangs this corner. He's 6'4" off the back of this little 110, just like wide open, trying to hang on to this thing,
was
dude.
pretty sweet.
So me and his daughter Lily were in there just cracking up, laughing at him so hard, man. So I love minis so much.
It's funny. It's funny. You see these trends kind of come and go. Like it was actually a proper business talking about Kenny Johnson, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the Sano Days and all these other brands doing big things, and there was a lot of money in it. You know?
Red
and
Baron.
It's kind of funny because, oh yeah, huge. There's so many of them, and it's funny to see how it has come kind of full circle in a sense to where it's popular again. Now, again, I already said how old I am. Like I'm old. But I mean, dude, minis rule. Like it never goes out, right?
So fun.
We just have fun. It's all good. But then you see a kid like Axel get out there and go throw down on it, and then all the young kids are just like, "Oh, 110s are cool. We got to get 110s now." So it's like the scenes kind of come back around.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of neat to see. You know, neat to see the kids out there, you know, busting on those things. So it keeps it fun. That's the fun part. It's not crazy expensive. You just enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Twitch was asking me, he's like, is that the fuel injected one? I'm like, no, sorry, dude. This one's just got a carburetor. Can't be that lazy these days.
Right. It does have electric start, though.
I know. It's
like,
electric.
really? You need
it's
help
so
starting
cool.
at 50?
If you're a little kid, though, dude, you're a little kid.
All right, okay.
But that's the whole thing. It goes back to the dirt life. Our dads, if you couldn't start it, you couldn't ride it. So
yeah, totally.
These kids don't have to worry about that.
True story.
So, while talking about minis, are you going to get your daughter a mini?
I'll tell you this. This is pretty great. So I mentioned working for Moto World in El Cajon, and that's how I met my wife, Sarah. She actually worked there. We worked at different times, but we worked for the same shop. So, you know, motorcycling brought us together.
Dude, that's sweet.
So fast forward to having a kid at like, I don't know she was like 6 months, 8 months or something. And we had her at a little kid birthday party for some friends of ours, a 2-year-old's birthday party. And there's one of those Power Wheels, the battery quads. The kids are all fighting over it, ripping it around the grass. And I said, oh, look, you know, when Kennedy's 2, she's going to have one of those too. And Sarah just looks me square in the eye, and she's just like, when she's 2, my daughter's going to have one of those next year.
Oh,
like, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Dang.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So like I said, she already got a little 3-wheel push bike, and then for Christmas she got her first balance bike, 2-wheel, you know, a little Haro balance bike. And she jumped on that and she opened it up, threw a leg over, and looked at me and just went rum rum, just ready to go. So the kid loves moto noises.
That's awesome
Already.
And so does Sarah ride too then?
Yeah. Actually, I don't want to say I forced her, but I encouraged her to do her first race only last month.
What?
The Santa Claus VP out at this place, Vote Ranch out here in way east San Diego. Beautiful spot, amazing place. And they have an annual GP out there, and Sarah had never ridden her whole life, never raced, never once. You know, tracks can be a little intimidating in Southern California when you get out there and the kid on the 65 is twisted over your head, flipping you off, and you're like, Jesus, kid, I'm just trying to get laps in here.
Dude, yeah,
you know, so yeah, some encouragement. We had a bunch of other friends out there riding. Sarah got out and handled it, and it was awesome. So, you know.
I don't think it's the same
Probably
encouragement as what we were talking to. Who was our guest? We were talking about encouragement, and they were the kind of like the encouragement you got on the tour with the Coors Light,
right?
Probably not that same kind of encouragement. No. I had a lot of that encouragement when you guys broken me in pretty bad when I was on the mini out in Ocotillo. You guys gave me a whole bunch of encouragement. We had to stay the night.
You cut a few of those wolf killers to get you, man. Silver bullet from knock you down, son.
Those were good though, man. It got me going though, and you guys took me on a gnarly ass ride the next morning too. That was fun.
And that's what it's all about, man. Hey, you're welcome. Come back out.
I know.
Have some fun.
I really want to. I'll also come see you when I come later this month. Well, so did she do good at the race, or did she like it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Had a blast. Like I said, that facility's insane. It's an incredible spot. So it track's really fun, and yeah, she had a blast.
How'd your daughter Kennedy like it then? If she saw mom racing,
she actually she was not there. So it was nice.
She wasn't. Okay.
But the kid has been to the track, God, when she was like, I don't know, 6 weeks old, maybe it was her first track trip. And she's been to the desert 10 times now. So, yeah, she's kind of grown up around it already.
So does she like watching Dad ride?
I think so. I think she probably likes it more. I'd throw her on the tank of the Mini and just kind of zip around camp. And, at first she was a little intimidated by it, loud noises for a kid. But she kind of got into it. Now, like I said, she does her own moto noises on anything with wheels.
That's so
loves
cool.
it. So
awesome.
It's infectious. You guys know.
Oh yeah, Daddy's girl apparently.
Well, what do you guys do for fun then, other than take your wife racing?
Yeah, a lot of camping. I mean, we're beach people for sure.
Racing.
Yeah,
Forced
exactly.
Racing.
Forced. It was pseudo forced. It really kind of was. We spent a lot of time at the beach, a lot of time camping, the beach, the mountains, the desert. A lot of time camping out there. Still in Ocotillo Wells, Superstition, and then it's brewery culture, man. San Diego. I don't care where you're from. Everybody in the world. Oh, we're the beer people. We're the beer. Dude, San Diego is the beer capital.
They really do have a lot of good breweries out there.
It's kind of rad because it's a family environment, like family atmosphere has embraced brewery culture. So you go to the brewery on a Saturday afternoon, man, there's strollers everywhere, dogs and just enjoying good beer. So it's good times, nice and easy.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. And then, when's the next trips that you guys have planned to go out to like Ocotillo Wells and stuff? I'd definitely like to meet up one of these days. Oh, actually, you know what? A better question. Would Sarah like a side-by-side?
No, she's not old.
She's not old.
So side-by-sides and dual sports are totally out in his household.
Yeah, we're out.
Kicking them out.
I hear her in the other room. She said, I want one.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
I got to get you driving.
What are you guys doing to me?
One of these days, I know that you're going to like it just about as much as you like your dual sports, but I got to at least let you drive the Unicorn one of these days because they're freaking awesome. Compared to what old Rhino used to be or whatever, like the old golf carts, these things are bitching.
You got the one with the 6-speed and all that, right?
Yeah, it's a 5-speed sequential Yamaha, so it's pretty good. It's a little 3-cylinder motor, and they sound like a freaking R1. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. I haven't driven that one, so I'll pick you up on that, man, when we link up.
Like the Polaris and stuff like that. I mean, they're all good, and they all have their fit. But for moto dudes, like getting in one of these is way cooler because you can go full moto just with four wheels. Though
shifting is. Cool.
We had a dealer ride in October out in Sand Hollow, Utah.
Oh yeah, that looks bitchin'. I want to go there.
So the legend Jimmy White.
Yeah.
I mean, ATC factory Kawasaki Jimmy White, he goes out there in one of those, and he's just banging that thing, dude, just shredding in one of those Yamahas. I was super impressed by it. Those things are wicked.
Did you get to drive it or no?
Nah, I had my bike. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
People kept asking, hey, you want to ride in this? Nah, I'm not old.
There's nothing that I don't disagree with you. There's nothing that'll replace a dirt bike for any of us. But they're still fun though. They're still really cool to drive.
Oh yeah, no, we'll get one.
Well, you just try this one first. But yeah, I even put a motorcycle clutch on the shifter so you don't have to use your foot, so you can like feather it through corners and shit.
That's perfect.
So you'll get super into, except for it's on the right hand side, so you'll feel a little bit weird for the first couple of times you drive it.
Little awkward.
Yeah, but they're super fun. That's cool, man. Like I definitely want to go out and have some fun and camp with you guys. What projects do you have for 2020?
2020, man. So we just launched our spring collection at Thor. So catalog's available now. It's just a small collection we drop every year. A few new updates a few new graphics on racewear. Dropped a new goggle, our Sniper Pro, injected PC lens, super hardcore, which is really nice. Also, what kind of people are making a lot of noise about is the new high-end Thor helmet called the Reflex. We haven't dropped any information on that yet. It's just kind of sneaking out there right now. It's on the ATP Suzuki team in Supercross. A couple other riders are going to start showing up in it throughout the year, and it's going to be available to the public in July. So we've been out of the premium helmet game for a couple seasons now. That's a couple seasons too long, And that's, again, in my time coming into the business, what do I have to right side? What do we have to get done? What do we have to accomplish? And man, you're missing out on a high-end helmet isn't a good thing to do for a brand that's got a legacy of being the first to do things.
Yeah, exactly.
So
is that going to have carbon fiber too? You going to have a carbon fiber one?
Correct. Yeah.
Sweet.
The one the guys are out there right now is the carbon fiber model. We'll have some painted versions coming out, a bunch of different stuff coming in July, and then again for next spring, for next Supercross. For good pictures of the helmet, you can go to, a couple of different guys, Vital Swap, kind of in their pit bits. They got them kind of tucked in there at sneak peek, spy photos, and I'm fine with it. We're not releasing any info on the helmet, what the guts are or anything like that. There's a lot of speculation going on, and, just having fun with the project. But it's a fantastic piece. I can't wait to go to market with it.
That sounds pretty big. Well, Ken Johnson asked too, how far out are you guys on 2022 and 2023?
That's kind of funny because we always work a couple.
You already convinced one of our listeners to go get a helmet, so when they're out, she's going to get one.
Okay, sweet. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, thank you. We're always a couple years out. So we are literally, we've got kind of the line plan figured for 22 already, and now just fine tuning some graphics and colors and things like that on stuff. As I mentioned, the helmet is a real big drop for us this year. Next year, we've got some other big important drops on the hard goods side of things, some updates coming for apparel. It's just a never ending thing. You got to stay on top of it, and it's important to stay fresh. It's important to be kind of ahead of the game when it comes to some things,
Yep.
You can't stagnate. There's a lot of brands out there. There's a lot of people would say there's too many brands for the business right now. There's a lot of companies out there and a lot of nickel and diamond going on. And, it's important just to know your lane and to do the best we can where we're at.
Those are very, very strong words from a brand manager.
Yeah, and you have there's so much depth to the brand, though. I mean, what?
Well, yeah, none of these new mom and pop brands that are coming out now have anywhere near the validity that they do. But
right,
it's still cool to see it, though. Like, whenever somebody pops up, it's because they want something new, and it creates a bunch of different newness for everybody.
Yeah, and the competitive marketplace, which is awesome. But it's cool to be able to lean back on we've already done this. Let's do it better. Right.
I'll tell you this. This is kind of fun. So what has evolved in the past, I don't know, 6 or so years, you've seen, or maybe a few years more than that even, you've seen a lot of like more tight fitting, more athletic cut, compression fit, this and that when it comes to motocross apparel. And I'll never forget a few years back seeing people argue over which brand did it first. And you're talking brands that are new, like this millennium new. And they're just like, oh, we did compression sleeves first. No, we did it first. No, da-da-da-da-da. And I go, because I have it right there in the office, and I go and I pull out the Hallman catalog from 1988.
Nice.
And I'm like, I seem to remember this ad when I was a kid.
Love it. That's
so
solid.
I pull out the catalog, I flip it open, and I'm just like, yep, there it is, athletic cut. It's all compression, all tight sleeves and everything.
Nice.
I'm like, from 88. And I'm like, these people are arguing about it these days, and I'm just like, whatever. Hey, I don't. I kind of lurk around a little bit on some of the message boards and things. Sometimes you can mine for nuggets of information out there in those places.
Sure.
But a lot of it's just keyboard warriors that are just like talking shit to talk shit. And you're just like,
that'd be funny. He just puts a picture of that. He puts 1998 compression cut ... Just leaves it, see what happens.
And I wanted to do it. And 88, not 98. 88.
88.
You should put Michael Jordan's face on it.
And I wanted to do it so bad, and I was just like, nah, I can't. I can't stick to that level. But
that would be funny putting this.
Yeah, but it speaks to the passion for the brand, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
So what I was gonna, since we've all been around a little bit, what's the most iconic Hallman thing that you can think of?
I think the boots.
I was just gonna say the boots with the chrome.
Yeah, the big plate.
Remember the
leather boots with the plate on the
right.
front.
Those were forever. And it seems like they had a life cycle of literally forever.
Well, and they came back too. They made another stint coming back.
Yeah, they were cool
when everybody couldn't get them
again till in the 90s or something. And I was just like, dude, how?
Yeah, because that was a thing for like. There were a few brands that made them. There were a few different brands that made that boot, and it's kind of funny because I don't know who's making them now. Somebody is making them.
Oh, really?
And
Again?
and Jody Weisel from MXA still runs those things.
Nice.
Like, and you can see him, as Casey, as you pointed out, they last forever.
Right.
You see shots of him in these boots, and they look like they're melting on his legs because they're just so old. The leather is so hammered. I mean, I don't imagine they're from 1979. I think they're probably more modern than that. But still, dude, you just put tons of miles in those things. It's kind of wild. It's wild how technology's evolved with that too. Speaking of boot, I don't know. I was in a boot meeting today. Oh, geez, that's so much work to do. But the most iconic piece, you know, I'll throw it out there. Something that Torsten said in an interview, Torsten Hallman said in an interview, was that in like 70 or 72, maybe something like that, he was talking about how he was importing these goatskin leather pants, because we're the first motocross brand in America, right? Motocross apparel started in '68, started in San Diego. Nice. And Torsten would always talk about, and I had these, just these plain pants, and I put this blue stripe down the leg of a pant, and it blew everyone's mind. And I'm sitting there thinking about like how far we've come with graphics and printing technology and like, all this stuff to make things look trick and bitchin' and color and everything. And the biggest thing that stuck out in his mind is not these, literal innovations, like mechanical functional innovations, whether it was helmets or goggles or boots or chest protectors or all this other stuff. The most poignant thing to him is he put a stripe down the side of a leg, and it made a huge impact on the industry. I'm just like, that's the thing.
That's pretty cool, though. You know what I mean?
But just putting a stripe down the side of a leg, just putting a color down the side of a leg, open people's mind to, oh, you mean we can do other things? You mean we can evolve? We can explore things and do different, And I've been very, very fortunate to spend some time with Torsten just this past year. And kind of pick his brain about 51 years of his name, his legacy being out there. And it's great having him talk about
Can you imagine?
That we don't even think about.
It's awesome. Yeah, what's going on in that mind, and it's still fresh is what's amazing. That's so cool.
He came out here last year to go to a Supercross, specifically to go to a Triple Crown race, because he wanted to see the dynamic of the teams and how they were going to race for position for their points and everything else, because they gotta, how they gonna win the overall in this
Phoenix
Triple
is
Crown.
going to be a Triple Crown this year.
He's so into it.
That's awesome.
That is cool. Did he ever give you any feedback on like the setup of the Monster Cup and the way that they do that race?
Yeah. Were you out there? Did you see they brought him on stage?
No, I wasn't there.
It was Torsten's 80th birthday this past Monster Cup.
Nice.
So he and his family hung out and spent the week in Vegas, and then went to the race, and it was his birthday, and the stadium wished him a happy birthday.
How rad is that?
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's got to be a pretty big honor. So you were obviously up there hanging out.
Yep. Got to spend a little time, and and he, what's amazing is that, again, in my eye, when you talk motocross in America, he is one of, if not the key person. It was Edison Dye whose idea would bring him over and everything else to sell Husqvarna motorcycles. But Torsten was the guy. He had the bike. Lars Larson also.
Yep.
They took the bike around, and the Americans are like, "You talk funny. We're going to smoke you on motorcycles." These guys are like, "Okay." And then they roll out there on their Huskies, and they shredded the Americans. The Americans are like, "Oh, I guess we got to step our game up. This is unreal," And all these years later, at 80 years old, he's like asking questions about, this team or that rider, or how do you think that guy's going to do? Because he's following his legacy and the seeds he planted in the 60s,
That is so insane, man. Like, how easy is it for us to lose touch?
Right.
And then he's still keeping in touch that much.
50
That's
years
bitchin'.
later. So
Dude,
cool.
The first event, using that picture of he and I'm in the gear with that bike and all. It was a vintage race up in Boise. Wonderful time. My first time racing a 125 since 2002, and I'm 60 pounds heavier than I was then. So,
and it was a vintage bike.
But it was a 74 Elsinore 125.
Oh man,
and so much fun. But we're out there at that event, and Torsten, I don't want to ask anything of him. I just want to make sure he's comfortable.
He looks at Josh. He's like, "Quit being a pussy and ride it."
Right.
Dude, well, he rolls out there. He sits down and he starts signing autographs, gets up to take pictures of people. He's doing interviews. Like, he's hot on it. At 80 years old, he's just like, "What do you need from me?" I'm here. I'm just like, dude, I want to get you like a recliner or something. You know, I don't know. And he's just pumped on everything. So
that's
that
so cool.
So went through. That was my last moto of the weekend, and I rang that thing out. Like on the way back to the pit, which thank God it was downhill. I was coasting that thing in, and it's just like dying. I'm trying to keep the thing going. I get down there, it ends. The owner of the bike, Chris Cecilia, from Northwest MX, Vintage MX, awesome dude, puts together rad programs with their huge vintage scene up there. Chris is up. What's up, dude? That was a great ride. How's the bike? I said, it wouldn't start right now, dude. I rang the crap out of that motor.
It expired.
And Torsten comes over, and Torsten cruises up, and he says, "Josh, that was a wonderful race. I wonder if you would mind a picture with the bike." And I'm just like, "Yeah,
dude,
yeah, Torsten, you can have a picture with me with the bike." Like I was freaked out, you know. So it's really cool, man. And it's just like I say, it's that passion that we've been talking about in this conversation, this transcending decades, culture, and carries on.
It just goes to show how much he cares. Like, and he doesn't even like. That is so freaking awesome, dude.
And it's programmed. Yeah. Like he probably doesn't even try.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
like
I mean?
Yeah, brushing your teeth in the morning.
That's what he does.
That's so cool, man.
True. It is all there. Sharp, man. He is on point.
I'm just talking about the dynamic of a company to work for like that with the leader like that. Dude, that's just bitching. So kudos to you for getting in that position though too, man. That's bitching for you too.
Definitely.
Put in work.
Yeah, dude, tons of work, I'm sure. We only got two more questions for you, and then we got our rapid fire Q&A. This is our surprise for you.
Ooh.
But you kind of went on this a little bit, but I'd like to know, instead of saying what the future is for Thor, what's the future hold for you? You're probably going to stay in the position that you are, but you and Sarah have any plans with Kennedy in the future?
Well, in the short term, we're doing the remodel on the house, putting it on the market, moving closer to our families. We're up in North San Diego, so moving down a little bit closer to the Thor office, and then our families and everything else, so Kennedy can grow up with her cousins and aunts and uncles and everything. And then just continuing to ride as much as we can and kind of sort of foster that, relationship with two wheels in Kennedy that Sarah and I have grown up with our entire lives, and our parents before us, and so on. And then, bigger picture, I mentioned before that I'm not a has-been, I'm a never was. The biggest thing I could hope to achieve in racing is going to Loretta's and doing Loretta's. So I've never done
how
it.
fun would that be? Yeah,
I've been there so many times, never done it. So I'm like, I got to go race it.
The only time I've ever done that race, like I remember doing shitty there because I think I got like a 5th or a 6th or something. I actually won some motos at Ponca that same year, but the time that I went there, I don't remember anything except for walking out of the fucking hotel room after just taking a shower and being completely drenched in sweat right when I opened the freaking door.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, dude, and I was training in Arizona with 2 sweaters on in 120-degree weather.
Right.
And it wasn't even close to the same amount of
humidity. But it's a dry heat.
Dude, it was way gnarlier in Loretta Lynn's, man.
It's just unreal, dude. It's so nasty out there.
So they have a dual sport class?
Yeah, they should, because I'm gonna get out there.
Yeah, the dual sport class is you ride all the way out there.
Yes.
You do one lap around the track and ride all the way home.
Sign me up.
That's why I scheduled.
You win.
That's why I scheduled it in September, not August, because it's rather than August.
Perfect.
We got a question online that says, "How do you keep track and pay so much attention to everyone and everything in the industry?" Amazing job, Josh.
It is not easy. It is paying attention to this much stuff is darn near impossible. But it's when it is your life, when it is sort of an obsession, it's an passion or an obsession, it becomes second nature to be aware, to pay attention, and to live in it and live immersed in it. In turn, you have to know these things. There's a lot of this stuff you gotta know, or you're out of the loop. You're not doing your job.
I think a little bit of it probably has to do with some of your team too, though, right? Because they can appease you or notify you when stuff that you may not know too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's everybody plays their part of the organization. Everybody's got their job, and then we just saw when we all work together and we all meet in the middle. That's how you succeed. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Well,
yeah.
The only other question we have for you is, people can get a hold of you by what is it? At Josh Shorter. What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Joshua Shorter, actually.
Oh, that's right, Joshua Shorter.
Go for the full name, Joshua Shorter. Yep.
Okay, cool. And we posted some of that stuff on our social media too, so you can click the link in any of the recent posts that we've done, and you can reach him. If they have any business questions, how can they get a hold of you?
Go ahead and fire me an email. It's jshorter@thormx.com.
Yeah, so make sure you just spam him all kinds of pictures and just random shit. He's not busy at all. So yeah, well, thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate everything that you're doing, and it's really awesome to be able to see the progress that not only you've made in the industry, but truthfully, when I saw Kennedy and you get married and stuff like that. It was just awesome to see, dude. Just because I knew you were so happy, like it just made me happy to see all that. So,
Thanks,
all right,
man.
You ready for rapid fire Q&A?
Here, but
Let's do it.
Before we do that, let me dovetail off that for a little bit. So when did we come out when we were doing the SCH stuff? Short course.
Oh yeah,
hobby
so
stuff. When was that?
Casey and I, for people that don't know or any of our audience that doesn't know, Casey and I had a little RC car parts website like back in the day. It was 2012 or something.
Yeah, 10 or 12. So what I was going to say, so that's a good 7-8 years, and you were in the position at Spy, and the same exact drive and passion for what you were doing there is what I'm seeing here. Like this is a repeat. What I'm getting at is this is the real you. So it's much appreciated. And man, just keep doing what you're doing. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's bitching.
Thanks so much. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I've still got my truck in the garage. So
nice. Hand that one to me so I can show it to him.
Right.
So we have.
I should run out there.
We have a Nui. I don't know if you can see it, but this has got the same paint job as the Unicorn YXZ that we have. So,
dude, I love the paint job on the Unicorn, man. That's so good.
Yeah,
that's so perfect.
You know what's funny though is most people won't say anything because they're just like, "Oh, dude, whatever." Like you like pink and stuff, and then some guy pops up online. That's the fucking gayest car I seen. I hate it. Like I'm like, dude, let's go for a ride. Come on.
Pink is punk rock, dude.
There you go. Yeah.
I just love it. Like that's one of the things that I love so much is like when people say stuff like that. It means so much to me to see how pissed off they are because that means that they want it.
Yeah, exactly. Jealousy, man. Jealousy for sure.
All right. So you ready for your rapid fire Q&A?
Let's do it. Sorry, I'm just plugging in here. This thing's about to die on me, so.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, this first one's easy.
Q&A me. Let's do this.
All right, Case, you go first.
This first one's easy. Roxon or Tomac?
Oh.
So it was easy for Case, but not easier for Josh.
That's tough, man, because I appreciate hard-working, talented dudes. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling the Roxon thing for sure.
Right.
No offense to Eli.
Same with me.
Yeah, well, I purposely didn't put Webb in there. So, all right, your favorite.
So easy.
I know, right? Make it hard for you. All right, your favorite food.
Carne asada burritos.
Nice.
Boom, that's a good one.
That's pretty big down there, though.
Carne asada.
Yeah,
street tacos are everywhere down there.
Well, they
right?
they have a name for a burrito. It's called the California burrito.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. So.
Hey, even better. Good call. Make sure it's got guac. That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Dude, for real, guac is love. All right.
iPhone or Android?
Oh, iPhone.
All right. Favorite soda?
Part of the cult. Beer.
You're perfect. Okay. Well, what's for your favorite beer right now?
Oh.
The one I'm drinking.
Let's go with the AleSmith 394.
Ooh, that one looks cool. I like the design on that one too.
It even has
so designed. It says here a collaboration with Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, my favorite ball player when I was a kid. Again, I didn't play baseball, but everybody liked Tony Gwynn. But so OG Padre colors. It's a San Diego brewery called AleSmith. This beer is delicious. I highly recommend it.
And I was going to say it looked like it had an AMA Pro number.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to tell them your story that you told me earlier today about riding and grabbing some refreshments?
Oh man! So there's this iconic bicycle tour race in Tucson. People come from all over the world to do this thing.
It's called El Tour de Tucson.
El Tour de Tucson. Yeah.
111 miles around the city of Tucson.
Yeah, George, you did it.
Yeah.
So we get to this one particular place in the ride, which is roughly halfway-ish, and I've lost a bottle. So I have one bottle, but it only has half.
Yeah, like no water left.
So I still have a pretty ways to go, but we're doing okay, and we can stop if we need to, whatever. And we get up this hill, and there's these dudes out there. They're mountain bikers, and they're handing beers and whatever to whoever wants one. And I contemplated for a second. I'm like, that's probably not the best idea because we got a team. We're trying to get this thing done. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm down a bottle. And I am a little bit in pain, so why not? So it was the old.
Your body appreciated the calories.
It did. It did, and that was part of the other deal I made with myself. But it was funny because everybody laughed. Okay, took it.
Dude, you didn't put in that much context though. So you got a bunch of dudes around you. You're all hauling ass, like you're in this freight train, like a Peloton, and you lose your water bottle. Everybody's yelling at you, and then you break off, grab a beer, and keep going.
Champion.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, that is funny.
That's rad.
All right, I think the next one is for you.
Most memorable race. What's the context here? Any memorable race?
Yeah, let's just give it to him free and clear. Most memorable race.
Hot Wheels.
I won Sea Otter Classic in dual slalom a bunch of years ago.
That's awesome, actually. If anybody that follows mountain bike, that is a huge event.
Can you guys explain that to me?
Yeah, well, how would you put that in? So that discipline, dual slalom,
is that
awesome.
like the Mammoth Mountain of mountain bike racing, or is it like winning Redbud?
It's pretty.
It's like winning. It's like winning Loretta's.
It is.
Oh, really?
Pro class. I'm not pro. It's like winning Loretta's in mountain bike in a discipline of mountain biking. Yep. So dual slalom is like downhill mixed with BMX. Like,
dude, that sounds fun.
It's super cool.
And then you hit BMX jumps, and then you got to go left, right of the gates, kind of thing. It's sick. So
how they do that with the skiing?
Yeah,
it's a similar thing, but
on a track.
With the bikes. Yeah, it's awesome. It really is.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, it's an insane discipline. Super fun. So I got gold there a bunch of years ago, and
awesome.
That was insane.
That's
most
cool.
memorable dirt bike race was when I hole shot by 2 miles. And dumped it 2 turns in, and my old man was there, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Crashing.
That sounds like something our dads would say to us too. Way to fuck it up, dude. All right, favorite flavor of ice cream?
Pass.
Okay, so you don't like ice cream.
Beer. I don't like sweets.
Beer.
I don't like soda and ice cream and beer. Carne asada.
Well, you're gonna hate this next question, but go for it, Case.
M&M's or Skittles?
Skittles.
Dogs or cats?
Rainbow.
Oh, dogs. Ew.
Oh, we already know the answer to this next one.
Yeah, burrito or taco, both.
Yeah, burrito. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a good taco.
This is true.
Yeah, exactly. All right, if you were a character in the movie Hangover, which one would you be?
I want to be Leslie Chow, dude.
I knew it.
Oh, shit.
I totally knew it.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard anybody say that answer yet. That's bitching.
That's what I had in my mind because there's so much energy there. I knew it. That's awesome.
When I'm in shape and the beard is strong, I get the Bradley Cooper call out sometimes, but dude, Leslie Chow's the jam.
But you'd rather be stuck in a trunk, Nate, with your underwear on?
No.
No.
Yeah, that was
beer.
Yeah,
beer.
All right.
What other form of racing would you like to try?
This can be anything. Like, we were actually talking about it last week with Ryan Sipes. Like, we were talking about, like, monster trucks. I want to try F1. We were talking about those big-ass Dakar trucks, like those Kamaz trucks. Dude, you can pick anything.
Oh, those are gnarly.
You can pick anything, dude. This is all-out Dream World.
Oh, all-out Dream World would be MotoGP.
That's pretty sick, though, too.
Dude.
That's what Ryan said.
Remember? That stuff's amazing.
That is pretty.
Like, if you guys ever been to one live,
no.
It's unbelievable.
Nope.
It's unbelievable what those guys do.
But it has such a global following. I have to. Yeah. It's like the F1 of motorcycles. It seems
exactly.
Like.
Yeah. Totally.
That would be pretty cool. And they use those like same like heaters on their tires. Like the level of intensity, like just in the mechanics of it is
nothing
just
is left on the table. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It is cool.
Yep.
All right, most important question of all. I already know your answer: chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
Chips and guacamole.
Good.
Sweet, man. At least you answered that question right. If you didn't, if you answered French fries, we weren't friends anymore, dude. Dude, thanks so much, man. This was a fantastic interview. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your time with us, dude. I know you're busy and you got the fam there too.
Well, dude, thanks for the invite, man. I really love seeing this thing evolve, and kind of dug in on what you guys have been talking about, the people you've been talking to. I think it's rad. It's funny talking about Sipes, and I'm like, Sipes is inspirational, man. That guy's it's got wheels. I'll race that.
It's so cool.
So I love what you guys are doing and the stuff you guys are talking about, and it brings that level of humanity to the back end of what we do, whether it's a racer like Sipes or industry nobody like me or whatever. It's just kind of cool because it's just exploring more about who we are and living life in the dirt,
Man, I totally agree with that. And I think you can probably attest to this is you and I have both, and Casey as well, have met some very, very cool people over the years, who's being in the industry or meeting people at the races or anything like that. And sometimes these people don't have a platform to share their stories, but their stories are almost more important than some of these really high-level people, and they have something to say, and I really want to showcase that. And I really, really want to get back and showcase these people's lives. Like, you're a brand manager at Thor. That's bitching, right? But I know you as the dude that I met at Ocotillo Wells drinking Coors Light in the desert. Like, that is fucking awesome. Like, that is a cool quality. And like Casey brought up earlier, like, you haven't changed. Your passion is the same. Like, you love what you're doing and you love your life. Like, that is freaking amazing. Like, I want to showcase that whenever we have interviews with people, and I appreciate you showcasing your life with us.
I think it also reminds everybody that like you said before, we're all kind of similar where it's not a stick and ball sports.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, we did that a little bit. I wanted to play football when I was a little kid. My dad said, no, that's too dangerous. So he let me race moto instead, which is hilarious. But what I'm getting to the point is that it's not wrong that you don't want to be the jock. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of reminding everybody that this is what we do. We do dirt. It's just
we all live the dirt life.
Different and cool. Yep.
Well, it's bitching, man.
Perfect. Yeah, hey, dude. Thanks for all that, man. It's just it's fun to talk about this stuff for sure, man. I can do it all day. So, next time something exciting comes up, we need to have another talk. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'd love having you on the show, man. And I'll definitely hit you up when I come to California in the next few weeks here, and we'll get to hang out or something, hopefully. But yeah, let's definitely talk about the Ride Across America. I think that would be cool if you guys joined in, maybe get some employees and have you come out. And even if you can only do a little stint, that'd be bitching. So
one last question.
Go.
This is an easy one.
Hit it.
Or it's an easy, quick one. Who's your guys next week?
I need.
It's so hard
on
this year.
250s. On 250s, Justin Cooper and Dylan Ferrandis are coming back out swinging.
Agreed.
So Dylan got pretty lucky last weekend because he wanted it hard.
He did. I thought he was going to be hurt. I thought he was going to be hurt worse than that.
Oh yeah. He'll be all right. He'll shake it off. He'll keep going, which is good. Justin Cooper, dude, he's holding it down. That kid is the real deal. So those are my boys for 250s, of course.
Agreed.
And then when you come into the big bikes,
it's so hard. So hard.
Coop is hot cold. I mean, Cooper is my boy, but he's hot and cold right now. I don't know what to say about that. Cianciarulo, once again, another guy you can't not like. So I like seeing Adam out there. I like seeing his mature. He's got his racecraft going, if you could say that.
What were Cooper's results at the beginning of last year?
Yeah, didn't he start off like
slow
and then like maybe a podium in the second round or something last year?
Tomac?
No, Cooper Webb.
Oh, Cooper. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He just he started like fifth, I think, was A1 last year, and then just kind of started rolling with it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's okay. He'll gain a head of steam.
Yeah,
I think Adam's the real deal for sure.
Yep.
And then there's always the Eli, Kenny, Jason Anderson conversation.
Yep.
It's kind of a mixed bag, you know. Casey said, monkey off the back for Kenny.
Yep.
Probably. So, you know, you're going to see him up there more. That's for sure. He likes being up there.
Dude,
so
it's so hard.
But I'm bucking for Cooper all day.
Yep.
Cooper's my guy. I mean, hey, I got 9 guys in 450 on, you know, Thor guys.
Nice.
but I mean, you know, I'm definitely I'm bucking for Coop to keep it up there. Plessinger, I need to get that kid up toward the top 5 where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that as well. Yep.
I feel like he just needs a little boost of confidence. Man.
I think you're right. He just needs that breakthrough, whatever it's going to be.
It'll click. He'll get moving.
Yep.
He will. He's good. So
yeah. All right.
For sure.
I'll text you and we'll fuck around for text on this weekend.
Awesome.
We'll all bitch at each other. All right. Well, thanks so much, Josh. I'll let you get back to the family and have some tell Sarah and Kennedy doesn't know who we are, but tell her we said hi anyways. Yeah. Tell her she's gonna rip around on that bike, man.
You'll see it, man. You guys will see it soon. So George, Casey, man, the Dirt Life. Thanks again so much, you guys, and thanks for everybody who's chimed in and talking a little shit on the side. I appreciate it.
Yeah, send Ken Johnson a text message. Fuck with him too. Mini bikes. All right, brother. Well, we really appreciate it, dude. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much, Josh Shorter.
Great to see you.
All right, boys.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.
Man, that was cool.
That was awesome.
It's just
so much energy.
Not just the energy though, but like the knowledge that he has, he doesn't talk like the dude is smart.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
if you think about like you said it to you probably weren't thinking about this, but all the things that you've done get you to where you're at in this stage, right? Same thing with him.
Yep.
He did this, he did that, and as he's going, like the way he put that out there, the new guy. Oh, I want your job. Yeah, well, you got to earn it, right?
Yeah.
I like to say these grays are earned, not given, right?
With that whole mentality, start at the janitor position and work your way up to the CEO.
Right, and then he obviously has a following, and he's so passionate about this. It's just cool. Super cool guy.
I got a bunch of text messages this week too, like, "Oh my God, you're having Shorter on? He is the cool. He's like, he's so awesome." Like, and so people think, like they love him. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see. And like you said, though, I feel like he's selling himself a little bit short. Like he should give himself a little bit of a pat on the back because he's done some amazing things in the action sports industry. He's dealt with some amazing people. Absolutely. But that's just the way he is, dude. He's just a badass, and he's humble with it. So I'm glad we got to talk to him. It was a really cool interview. I like talking about stuff like that because it really makes you think about your everyday life.
Right.
You know? So I just think it's super cool. Maybe he'll even come across the country with us.
That'd be cool.
That would be super cool. If he rides a dirt bike, he's going to be hating life. He hates dual sports now, but he's going to hate his dirt bike worse if he takes it across the country.
That won't be very comfortable, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Maybe we'll just have to get him a dual sport backup bike so that he can jump on that. Thank you.
That's my wife's. It's my wife's bike.
He jumps to the side by side. I hate these things. They're so gay. Well, thank you very much, Josh Shorter, for coming on and joining us. Thank you very much for everybody that tuned in tonight. We want to thank our sponsors one last time for the show. Shock Therapy. Please use the code DIRTLIFE. Anytime you buy any products on their website, you get a big old fat discount. Call them up and tell them the Dirt Life sent you, and they'll give you a discount on any type of shock revalve, shock improvement system, rad improvement system, anything like that. Zollinger Racing Products. You can use the code DIRTLIFE for their website as well. We're going to have some cool stuff next week with those guys. They just make bitchin' products. Thank you very much, Rigid Industries. We love those guys. And thank you very much, Solder Weld. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you very, very much for helping grow this show. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Case, for filling in.
Absolutely.
It was awesome getting you to talk to Josh.
Thanks, Ray.
Oh, yeah. And thank you very much to our buddy Ray for helping out with the internet service provider issues.
Yeah, buddy.
He sent 3 of his best guys out here, and they were out here for almost 4 hours. They replaced everything in the studio to get it all dialed in. So go, Ray. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, buddy.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We love you guys. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.